Every cigar smoker can look back and say, that was the cigar that made me want to try every other cigar. I'm going to share mine with you guys. Stay tuned.
For Pete's sake, have a cigar.
Well, if you guys haven't figured it out quite yet, this box sitting to my left is the ISLA del Sol. A lot of people don't really like this cigar because it has the sweetened cap and it's overly sweet for their taste. I happen to be the one that absolutely loves sweet stuff. My figure kind of says it, and anybody you ask says the same thing. People at work call me Big Eater Peter. I mean, it goes on and on. So anyways, getting back to the cigar. The ISLA del Sol. This particular cigar, so to give you a little backstory on it, I had tried some cigars over the years, some good, some bad, and they were just kind of horrible, really harsh. I think it was too big of a step into the cigar world too fast. And I think a lot of you can relate to that, where you get a cigar that overpowers you, your taste buds aren't ready for it, just over the top. So anyways, I kind of got out of it for a while. I went to a local cigar shop in Mansfield called Tobacco Road. And the owner, Jeff, there, he had me try this stick. I told him, I had tried a lot of different other ones. I've had bad experiences with them. And he recommended this one as a local tobacconist. And so I said yes. And that night, I was having my little club, if you will, called the Gentleman's Club. And no, it's not a strip club or anything like that. It's just a bunch of guys hanging around, shooting the breeze, playing cards, having a good time, going on trips, that kind of stuff. So anyways, I agreed to get this one. I got one for every single guy in that group that night. And if you're watching this video from that group, I think you can all testify that that cigar was awesome. It is still the epitome of that guys group. Anytime I go out, hey man, you got an ISLA del Sol? Hey, can I get an ISLA del Sol off you? And so I always have these things on stock. They're so popular among my group of friends. But like I said, it is one that you have to be ready for the sweetness. The biggest thing about this cigar is the transition. You get that overpowering sweetness at first, and it's just like candy. It's delicious, and it's its own specific sweetness. I really can't put my finger on it. And as you smoke down through it, the sweetness starts to go away, and the flavor starts to develop. So this is just my personal opinion. I know many of you out there will disagree with, but right now this one is the most complex cigar that I have ever had as far as changes, the amount of change where it goes from sweet to a whole nother dimension of flavors. So this really is my stick and will always be my stick just because of the story that I associate with it. It comes in this really cool box, and inside the presentation I thought was really cool too. They put tobacco leaves in around the cigars when they ship a box of 20 of these to you. Presentation, the smell when you get them is just second to none. I'm salivating right now. I'm gonna light this thing up because I can't wait any longer. The sweetness that they've put on it is something very unique. I haven't really tasted any other sweetened caps like this. It's almost like maybe a confectioner's sugar, but it has a very deep taste to it. To me, it's very complex. So even the sweetness, I like that way. It is all that you will taste in the first maybe 10 to 15 minutes of the cigar, but once you light up, there is a lot of other notes that come in as well. Take the footband off here before I forget. Yes, like I said, anybody of my friends especially that are watching this can definitely vouch that this has been a huge part of our smoking privilege, if you will. But it's unique to my friends. A lot of other people, like I said, a lot of other reviewers that I've saw reviewing this have said it's way too sweet and would never have it again. The sweetness overpowers everything else, and I completely disagree with it. For me, the tastes are awesome, very complex. I'll go through those here in a second. Every time I light this thing up, it is so good. Along with the sweetness, I get a lot of nutty characteristics with this. Some chocolate, like a cocoa chocolate. Just a slight coffee, and maybe like a brown sugar thrown in there too. Maybe almost a caramel. That's kind of the richness that you get from this. It's very sweet, so all those into one. Maybe even a little bit of floral notes thrown in there too. It's like a floral chocolate, if that makes any sense. It has a Sumatran wrapper, I know that much. I think Drew Estate has really nailed it on this one. And as I mentioned with this, it is a favorite among my circle of friends. Cigars just bring people together. And I had also mentioned in the last video about connecting with people on YouTube. Well, I made a new connection recently, and it was James at Honest Cigar Reviews. He just got on his live feed and wanted to collaborate with me, so I guess I will be the first one to start. So I just wanted to thank James for entertaining all of my crazy ideas on his live feed. If you get a chance, go over to his channel and check him out. He's got such good content on there. Stuff about cigars, about coffee, mattresses, pizza, you name it, he's got it over there. He has a love for pipes. So if you need any information at all about any of those topics, I would definitely head over to his channel. He has a unique way of bringing the topics on a regular, average, everyday level to you and me. He's really fun to watch. He's down to earth. And James, if you haven't had an ISLA del Sol yet, get yourself one. I haven't watched all of your videos yet, and I haven't seen this one floating around your channel, but I could be wrong. If you like sweet, go for it. As you can see, the ISLA del Sol, the foot smoke, which is very common for Drew Estate, is just pouring off. And this is all the further I've gotten down this thing. And for me, the flavors have started to change just a little bit. The sweetness is already starting to fade. And so now we're getting into the true cigar flavors. The retrohale on this cigar is just truly wonderful. It's not harsh at all, very smooth. It's actually very hard for me to describe. It is almost like an almond, cocoa, caramel, floral kind of a mixture. I can't really pinpoint it one. There's just so many flavors going on. It just drives my sinuses crazy, but in a good way. Now this cigar is very delicious. One thing I would warn on this, for people that do like sweet, you will want to devour this stick. And I have found out if you do smoke it too fast, it will heat up. It'll get that soggy feeling to the back of it, and then it turns to a harshness. All the sweetness goes away and it becomes very unpleasant. I have done that before on these, and I wondered if I got a bad stick, and then by watching some other cigar channels I figured out that I was just puffing it too fast. So you really have to be self-disciplined if you like sweets. The thing I get from this one time and time again, my wife, who doesn't really like the smell of cigar smoke all that much, and she runs away from me whenever I'm having a cigar for the most part, she likes these, and a lot of people like these. It's a very sweet, very enjoyable smelling smoke, and a lot of people in crowds just are like, where is that coming from? And they have to find you and know, like, hey, that's the guy. He's got the good cigar. This thing has so many stories for me. Every one of you has some stories with your favorite cigar. I know Romeo Rory has a lot with his favorite stick, the Romeo and Toro, which I just got one from my future brother-in-law, and I'm looking forward to digging that out here maybe in the next week or two. I'm letting it sit to adapt and get its humidity back, but I will do that shortly, so sit tight, Romeo Rory. I'll get there. After I bought my first ISLA del Sol, I was obsessed with these things. I wouldn't buy anything else. I just buyed as much of these as I could, and then I got burnt out and I started on the trail like most of us have of trying different cigars out, trying the samplers, seeing what we like, what we don't like. But it always comes back to this one for me. I kind of weigh everything else, and I think all of us do. Our first favorite cigar, we kind of weigh all the other ones around that one. But for me, this is my favorite. So this thing, I'm only down this far on it, and it's already changing again. This cigar for me changes so much during the smoke. Every half inch to inch on the ash, a new flavor, a new taste dimension floods over my taste buds, and it is just awesome. This cigar is a mild to medium. It is just for me a flavor bomb. I've been smoking this just for probably another 10 minutes. The sweetness has pretty much almost fully gone away. There's an earthiness that is behind all the other things going on that kind of stabilizes everything. A lot of the other cigars that I've had, I taste a lot of pepper in. This one I can officially say for me doesn't have any pepper. It's rich in earthiness, in cocoa, caramel, coffee, floral notes. And that kind of encompasses everything that I can taste. Maybe even a little bit like on the almondish side, tucked way back in there. Like I said, there's just so much going on in this one. I can't really pinpoint a lot of those flavors. I can just kind of tell you what I'm telling you now. So If you get a chance, try one of these. I want to get your take on these. Please comment below and tell me what your cigar is that did it for you, and what is the cigar that got you started on your road to trying other cigars. And like I've said time and time again, cigar smoking is to each his own. This one does it for me. A lot of people are like, ooh, the Isla del Sol, it's gross, it's too sweet, I can't taste a thing. For me, my taste buds, I'm a sweet guy. Well, in more than one way. It's kind of like that warm, homey feeling for me of just being home, being with friends, being somewhere relaxing. There's so many good connotations that I have with this cigar. Can't really say that any other cigar does that for me. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Comment below on what your cigar was that did it for you. So with that, I'm going to end this video, and I hope to talk to you guys soon. For Pete's sake, have a cigar and enjoy life.
For Pete's sake, have a cigar.